Okay, and then let's see, Danielle. So I'm guessing, if I'm remembering right, maybe we spoke yesterday, but thanks for coming in today. And so reloading an updated SketchUp model in Lumion 8, how do you reload the materials you've already applied? So the nice thing about Lumion and SketchUp and that workflow is that you do all of your texturing in SketchUp, or at least that's how I do it. I do all my texturing in SketchUp, import it into Lumion, and then you either assign Lumion properties to your SketchUp materials, or you totally swap them out. Now, this linkage between the materials in SketchUp and the materials in Lumion, or the material properties in Lumion, it's all based on the SketchUp material name. So, if you assign a material, don't change the material name. Like if you've already set it all up in Lumion, don't change the material name because that will break the link. And Lumion will no longer know that that material is shiny or clear, reflective, whatever. So the idea here, and I'm kind of opening Lumion as we go, is that you just simply import, you assign all your textures, and then when you reload again in Lumion, those textures, as long as you haven't changed the name, they're just going to come right in. So I can show you an example of that. I think the other thing I would suggest is taking a look at material sets. You know, those are real solid too. So let's see. Let me see if we've got any clarification. Cool. And if I'm not on track there, let me know, Danielle. I'm glad to pivot on this one here. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's go with our test file. I'm always using this residential garage new construction. All right, so we'll open this. Man, something is just taking a really long time. Looks like a tooth. Do that. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to save this as my desktop temp and residential. We'll just call this garage, like that. All right, so if I want to create a rendering of this, first off, I'm going to click on render, because when I click on the render tab, that gets rid of my vegetation and entourage, which, you know, I really don't want to leave those in SketchUp. I want to add those in Lumion. All right, so I'm going to save this as, and in Lumion 8, I do need to save as 17. So we'll just do that. It doesn't hurt anything. And then I'm going to import a new build mode. I'm going to go to Objects, Imports, and I'm going to import a new model from my desktop temp. And here's my garage, and we'll choose Open. Say OK. All right, now place that, and whenever I place something, I always place it at 0, 5, 0, like that. All right, so in Lumion, the most critical materials, in my opinion, are glass, grass, and water. All right, so first off, I'm going to turn on my 3D grass. Just turn that on. And then let's go in here to our materials, and I activate my material tool, and as I hover around, you can see it's picking up on my SketchUp materials, like cladding, siding, white. In SketchUp, it is called cladding, siding, white. All right, and truth be told, I don't worry about naming my materials. I just pick them and paint them. I don't even pay attention to the name. I really don't even care what it's called, because everything is just very like tactile. Like I'm just clicking on things to match them up. I don't ever have to sift through a list of these material names. So cladding, siding, white, that's what we're seeing over here when I hover, cladding, siding, white. I'll click on that, and then I can go, you know, again, I can either assign Lumion properties to this material. Well, that's better location in the sun. Or I could go like, let's see, outdoor, you know, you go bricks. I don't even know, outdoor bricks. I don't know if there's a siding in Lumion. I honestly, I don't use these materials that much. That one's actually kind of cool. So let's do that. These polygon materials seem to work out real well. Well, actually, let's just go standard. All right, so standard is going to use the SketchUp material, and it's going to assign Lumion properties to that material. I don't want it to be so reflective and glossy. I do want it to have a normal map, and if I increase the relief, you can kind of see it. I'll zoom way in on this. So see how those the shadows? So it kind of creates like a little extra relief on there. All right, so that kind of comes in handy. I'll click here and click on glass. Down here, I'll click and go to grass or landscape. And look at that. I mean, everything just falls into place. So here's the thing, though. Like what you're getting at, let's make that glass. So if I were to go over into Lumion, all right, and let's say I take this grass and I say, I want to get real crafty and I want to, make a lot of extra work and name this like BD underscore grass 01, all right, like that. And then I'm going to do another save as, make sure that I'm calling this 17. If you're working in SketchUp 2018, I save that back, all right? Now, I'm going to reload this and watch what happens to the grass. I changed the name. See, right now it's vegetation grass 1, and I'm going to hit re-import model. And see, the grass goes away because I broke that link. It's now called BD grass 1. Lumion doesn't know what that is, all right? So then I just have to relink it. So the point is, don't rename your materials in SketchUp after you've assigned them all. There's no way to kind of automate that. Truth is, I just don't even name my materials. If you want to be really organized, you could create your whole library and do all that. I would recommend it, but I don't know. We just kind of work fast and don't do that all the time. So, all right. And then, let's see. One other comment on this point here would be like, let's say, all right, let's just do, in Lumion, I'm going to hit, let me just, save those materials, okay, like that. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to save a material set. All right, so I'm going to click material set, save, and then I'm going to save these as, I'm sorry, let me just add a few more. Let's just call this like indoor metal, aluminum. It doesn't really matter if they're, not perfect. Double click on that. We can add colorization, make it darker and less reflective, like that. All right. Our roof, we can click here, go to outdoor roofing. Those polygon materials are really cool. I don't know if any of these are going to fit what we're doing here. That doesn't work. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Okay. Let's see. I actually don't like those. That's cool. We'll just stick with that. All right, so we got a couple materials in there. All right, I'll click Save, and then I'm going to click here and go to Material Set and choose Save. I'm going to save this to my desktop temp folder. I'm going to call this one, I always do, my company initial or acronym, and let's see, garage, and we'll call this material set. Like that. Okay, so let's say that then we go over and we start a new project, right? So let's just go to Start New, New Project, like that. And if I go in here and, let's see, I think I do have to clear my library. All right, so let's just get rid of this stuff in our library. So I'm doing a fresh import. And the idea of what I'm getting at here is that, like, you're going to go and use all these same materials again, all right? So if I import my garage again, say OK, and click. So this one, it doesn't have any materials on it, right? So like, let's just imagine I started a new project and a new garage, and I'm like, shoot, I don't have any of my materials. Well, what I can do is load that material set. So I'll go, I'll just add, I don't know, we'll just make this a standard. And then I'm going to go to material set, load, and I can bring in that garage material set. And what that does is it tells Lumion that everything needs to sync up. The grass did not turn on because I don't have it on. There we go. Like that. Cool. So the idea with materials in Lumion and SketchUp is you definitely don't want to rename your SketchUp materials once you've set them up in Lumion. If you do set up a library, which is always a good idea to get really organized in SketchUp, you could very easily path all of those SketchUp materials in Lumion, create a material set, and now as long as you use those materials over and over, well, you just load the material set and everything kind of turns on and falls into place. So that's pretty handy.